video when different people are speaking, so I'm following your script too.
Okay. What's it, which one? Which one?
Rowan, stop. What did you do to the phone? Now you turn the sound on. Stop that. I'm going to turn that off. Crap.
Remind all of the participants that we're counting on you to unmute yourselves when your part comes up.
Hello, Julia. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Can you see me?
Yes, yes.
Oh dear, I can't see where my picture is on the screen, so I don't even know what I look like.
A little low. We're seeing from nose up.
Oh yeah, let me, how do
That's
I
better.
can I swipe? Okay, now I can see where I am.
Okay.
Sorry,
And
the baby kept stealing my headphones.
And you're good with you got the script, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up.
Okay.
Now, sit down. Sit down. Sorry, I'm in bed. I have a baby, like, playpen attached to my bed so he can't escape. It's the only place he can't get out of.
Okay, time to get started.
Okay.
Stephen, can you move to our gathered here slides? Chris? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the worship at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Beaufort. Today, we are going to be celebrating Mabon, and we will begin with our gathering song, Gathered Here, as Chris plays, and the slides will be up on the screen so you can follow along.
Circle in our spirit
So good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Beaufort, our virtual worship service on Sunday, September 20th. We are glad you are here this morning, whether you are joining us by iPhone or iPad or laptop or tablet or desktop computer or however. Whatever it is that brought you to this community, whichever paths you have traveled, whomever you love, whatever your ethnicity or immigration status, you can find safe harbor here. At UUFB, we celebrate the free and responsible search for truth and meaning, and guided by love with open minds and hearts, we work together to create the beloved community of justice, compassion, and peace. And now I invite you to join me, as you are willing, in affirming the fellowship's mission statement, which is here on the screen. Our mission is to create a joyful sanctuary for spiritual and intellectual growth, embracing all souls in a nurturing community from which we go forth as activists for social justice and as stewards of the natural world. Now I invite you to take a few deep breaths, settle in, and enjoy our prelude from Chris.
Our prelude today is called a Hebrew nigun, which means a song without words. However, you're invited to sing the words lie, lie, lie. And at several points, there are chances to clap. So, here we go.
Thank you, Chris. And now I invite Tom to come and light our chalice with these words from Katie Gelfand. We light our chalice as a symbol of our gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, this virtual sanctuary of the air, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is in sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us. And our story for all ages this morning is called Why the Sky is Far Away. It is from the World of Wonder Tapestry of Faith curriculum from our religious education program. And it's adapted from the story in the Barefoot Book of Earth Tales by Dawn Casey and Ann Wilson. In the beginning, the sky was close to the earth. So close that you could reach up and touch it, and you could eat it. In those days, people always had enough to eat without ever having to work for it. People did not have to plow the fields and sow the seeds and gather the crops. Children did not have to fetch sticks for the fire. Whenever anybody was hungry, they just reached up and tore off a piece of the sky. But people grew careless, as people do, with the sky's gifts. Sometimes they broke off more than they needed. After all, the sky was so big, there would always be enough, wouldn't there? Who cared about a little wasted sky? But the sky cared. And soon the sky's sorrow turned to resentment, and its resentment grew to anger. I offer myself every day to these people, the sky grumbled, and they throw me away, half-eaten like garbage. People of the earth, the sky's eyes flashed with lightning. Clouds bubbled and boiled. People, you have not treated me with respect. You have wasted my gifts, and I warn you, if you continue to be greedy, I will move far away. I will leave you." The people listened and they promised to be more careful. And after that, no one broke off more than they could eat. And they always remembered to thank the sky too. But then the time came for the greatest festival of the year in honor of the chief of the kingdom. The night rang with music, bells clanging and drums banging, and people stamping and clapping and laughing and having a great time. The tables were heaped with dishes of specially prepared sky. Sky in every flavor, from custard apple to cocoa plum. There was plenty for everyone, for the sky was generous with the festivals. It trusted people to take only what they needed. But there was one woman who was never satisfied. Osato always wanted more. Her arms were heavy with brass bracelets, but brass wasn't good enough for her. She wanted coral beads. But most of all, Osato loved to eat. First, she helped herself to a handful of noon yellow sky that tasted like pineapple. Yum. Chunk after chunk disappeared into her mouth. And then she ladled out some sky stew, spicy and warm, and it looked so good she lifted the dish to her lips and drained it all, dumplings and all. Soon her stomach was stuffed, so she loosened her robe a bit. What next? Delicate slices of morning sky, pink and glistening. With a swift movement, she scooped them up and slurped them down all at once. At last, the tables were empty, and Osato was full and began waddling home. She was full to bursting, but her eyes kept wandering up to the sky. What would it taste like right now? Citrus storms? Her taste buds tingled. Luscious mango? Her mouth watered. Honey sunsets. She licked her lips. Her fingers began to pull out her spoon, the one she kept tucked in her pocket just in case. She stopped herself just in time. Osato knew that the sky offered itself only because no one ever took more than they needed, and she knew she didn't need any more. But oh, how she wanted some more. Well, maybe just one spoonful. The sky is so huge, Osato said to herself. It can't hurt just to have a little bit more. So she pulled out her spoon and plunged it in. She savored a mouthful of sky, and then another. And then she threw down her spoon and just scooped with her hands, sucking the delicious sky from her fingertips. Finally, without another thought, Osato pulled down a great slab of sky, enough to feed a family of 4 for weeks. She licked all around the edges, chewing more slowly now, and then she stared up at the huge hole above her. She stared down at the enormous mound of sky, and she knew that she had taken more than she could ever eat. Above her head, there were rumblings. What can I do? What have I done? I can't waste this sky. So she called to her husband for help. But he had been feasting too and was slumped in his chair, too full even to move. He only managed a few mouthfuls. So then she called to her children to help, but they were also full from the wonderful feast, and all they could do was dip a finger in and lick it off, and then they were done. She called to her neighbors to help, but again, they had been at the festival, and at the sight of more food, they held their stomachs and just groaned. But they ate as much as they could, worrying, casting anxious glances at the sky. But even with the help of the entire village, they could not eat the last piece. Osato had simply taken too much. Well, what does it matter, Osato finally told herself. It's just a little bit of waste. But the feeling in the pit of her stomach told her otherwise, and no one in the village slept well that night. The next morning, the sky did not offer their food to the people. Parents had nothing for breakfast, and children went hungry. Osato knelt on the ground, rocking and sobbing, repeating, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm so, so, so sorry." But the sky just sighed, and with a great rush of air, it lifted itself up, high as the treetops, high as the mountains, high above the earth rose the sky, far out of the reach of any people. "I gave you all you needed," its voice floated down, "but still you took more. I cannot stand such greed. I will leave, and I will not return." "But how will we live?" the people wept. "What will we eat?" There was silence from the sky. Osato's tears fell to the earth, and the earth spoke. "Dry your tears," it said gently. "I can feed you, but you will have to work for your living. You will have to learn to plow fields and sow seeds and harvest crops. And remember what you have learned today. Take only what you need, and I will give it gladly." "Oh, I will," promised Osato and all the other people. We will never take more than we need, ever, ever again." And this is the end of our story for all ages. I hope you will take its seed of wisdom with you as you go through your story. And now I invite you to shift gears a little bit, settle in, maybe put your feet on the floor, maybe close your eyes as we enter into a time of meditation, prayer, contemplation. Pause. Balanced in the center between the longest and the shortest days, the equinox. The wheel of the year turns and turns again. The air cools, the days shorten. The very sun seems to weaken, barely clearing the horizon after rising before beginning its descent. This is our opportunity now to pause. Breathing in, breathing out, knowing this present moment. Knowing this present moment is all we are guaranteed. Like the sun moving toward the shortest day, each moment arises and is gone before we know it. This is the time to pause and consider. As we enter the season of contemplation, of increasing darkness, of lying fallow, of dormancy, this is the season of letting go, of lightening burdens, of preparing for a long period, of being still, of going deep. Pause. Breathe in, breathe out. It is the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. Shana Tova to all who celebrate. May your new year be sweet and full of blessings. Pause. Breathe in, I hope, relatively clean air. Breathe out a prayer for those in the Western United States, those still choking on smoke and ash, and those grateful for recent rains clearing the air. May they be well. Pause. Breathe in the intention to vote your UU values on behalf of all unable to do so because they're clinging to life on a ventilator. On behalf of those 200,000 and more in this country alone who have perished from COVID-19. Pause and honor the memory of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a good and faithful servant of justice for all to the very end of her life. Breathe out gratitude and resolve. Pause and consider. Binaries. Dark and light, hot and cold, chaos and order. Neither extreme is inherently good or bad. It's all a matter of balance, of honoring the spectrum for which binaries mark the endpoints. Pause. Today, we mark the midpoint between winter and summer solstice, a time to seek balance and be free. Blessed be, and amen. And as we continue in a contemplative mood, I invite you to take a moment to center yourselves in that spirit of love moving within and among and between us. And in this moment, I invite you to call to mind all that you're carrying in your heart this day, all the joys, all the sorrows, all the concerns, all of the grief and anger, all of the celebration of the new year. And during this time, we will see the video of the shells and hear some music. And if you're holding a joy or sorrow or concern that you would have written on a card to be shared aloud, we encourage you to type it into the chat box at this time. And if you're holding something that you do not care to share in the chat, but would like the care team and me to know about, please send me an email or give me a call this coming week. Knowing that we are one people in spirit, bound together in every joy and every sorrow, let us hold one another and all who are not with us today in our prayerful concern. Blessed be, and amen. And I invite you now to sing along to the paganish doxology, which is our response hymn, responding to the joys and sorrows. Our hymnal has some songs, some words that are set to the old doxology tune that those of you raised in Protestant traditions may be familiar with, and some of them are pagan friendly. Stephen? Thank you, Chris. Each week when we worship together in person, we gather an offering to sustain the fellowship and serve our wider community. While we're not gathering together in person and cannot literally pass baskets back and forth, we ask that those who are able continue to give to sustain the fellowship through this crisis and beyond. And I remind you that to give or to fulfill your pledge, checks can be mailed to the P.O. Box or slipped into an envelope and left in the drop box at the fellowship hall. You can also click on the donate button on the landing page of our website and make a secure offering with your credit card via PayPal. And one more reminder, if you are a member or a pledging friend, you should have received a pledge packet in the mail by now. If you have not received it, please contact Nick in the office and he will let the stewardship committee know. If you have received your pledge packet, we hope you will complete your pledge form for 2021 and return it as soon as possible. We also know that this current crisis may have serious financial repercussions for some of our members and friends, and there is no requirement to pledge or give. And your best gift, your very best gift, is always your presence and involvement in this fellowship. And now I'm turning this over to Stephen and the ASIC, Ancient Sea Island Continuum, who will celebrate Mabon with us.
Merry meet, a blessed Mabon on this fall equinox. We're blessed today to have two members of ASIC, Heather Ford and Julia Trask, assist in this ritual, and to have from Spain, Lucia Moreno Velo, new pagan author. She's in our classes at Cherry Hill Seminary, and she has a new book out that is absolutely a wonder to read. And she's going to incorporate some of her prayers and blessings in this ritual today from her new book. So I will let Heather take over from here, and please join with us as we celebrate Mabon.
Merry meet, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Mabon is the second of 3 harvest festivals in the pagan calendar. As we once were, we give honor and recognize the bounties of nature, which help our families and communities survive. Such are the mysteries of life, that all exists so that others may. And so let us call upon nature to bring us into the continuum, summoning the elements to mark the bounds, uniting the lady of our time and the untamed lord of the wild to join us as we cast a magical Mabon circle.
Now we will invite the elements to build our circle, and you can sing the refrain, which will be shown in the subtitles at the bottom of the video. Enjoy.
All hail to the guardians and elementals of the Eastern Watchtower. Come, bring forth your insight and elemental power. Great ones of the East, we welcome you. Guard and guide us well. So mote it be. So mote it be. All hail to the guardians and elementals of the Southern Watchtower. Come, bring forth your inspiration and elemental power. Great ones of the south, we welcome you. Guard and guide us well. So mote it be. All hail to the guardians and elementals of the Western Watchtower. Come, bring forth your wisdom and elemental power. Great ones of the West, we welcome you. Guard and guide us well. So mote it be. All hail to the guardians and elementals of the Northern Watchtower. Come, bring forth your protection and elemental power. Great ones of the North, we welcome you. Guard and guide us well. So mote it be.
Lucia will perform our invocation.
I invoke you, Goddess of old, you who has touched us this year with your powerful hand. I invoke you as lover, as mother, as grandmother, and I invoke you as child. I invoke you, Mother, Mother of all, as the powerful Lady of Corona. A prayer to Our Lady of Corona. Hail, Our Lady of Corona. May your name be called and your tale be told. You who hold our breath and storm our blood and bid us choose between life and market. Do not turn my defenses against me, but pass me by. Do not lay your hand upon me, nor touch my loved ones. Do not stop your feet at my door, but spare my home and that of my neighbors. For I have chosen to live, to care, and to love. Hail, Our Lady of Corona. May I always have the breath to call your name and tell your tale. So mote it be.
Call upon the wild, the untamed, the horned God to join us in our Mabon ritual this day. Bring us your energy, your regenerative spirit, your soothing and your invoking of passions within the males. I honor you with this prayer to the horned God. Horned God, O horned God, heed my call. Tear down, break through the office wall. Send the dolphin and the boar. Push the ivy through my door. All that is wild, wild and untamed, hear my call and ride again. O horned one, God of hoof and bone, engender flower and quicken thorn. Tear down every wall and fence, claiming what is yours again. All that is wild, wild and untamed, hear my call and ride again. Horn God, I charge you by your name, ride and dance and sing again. Make us mad with your sweet sound, raise us up and cast us down. All that is wild, wild and untamed, hear my call and ride again. Hail and welcome. And now Julia will help us celebrate.
Hi. We now celebrate the most ancient rite of magics, the magic of joining. The athame is to the Lord, as the cup is to the lady. United in life and abundance, blessed be. Now the circle is cast. We are between the worlds, beyond the bounds of time, where night and day, birth and death, joy and sorrow meet as one.
Thank you. And now let's have our magical working. Whenever we cast the circle, we have a cone of power where we keep all the good energy in, we keep all the other energy out. And it's time to do a magical creation here that all of us can participate in. Within our virtual circle, let us visualize the magic of our intentions and will working. As we know, the days are growing shorter, and soon the nights will be cooler as well. With the return of Mabon, we keenly appreciate that life is more than a gift, for we see through all of the abundance at the harvest festivals, we are aware of the promise of life. All that dies shall be reborn. Let's perfect your visualization. Please get comfortable and relax, and then close your eyes for just a couple of minutes. When you are ready, go within to that place of perfect harmony. You know this place. You know this light. It's your vision of nature, the scenes that provide the greatest relaxation to your spirit. You're in a place not visited in a long time, yet you know the season is autumn, for the flora has changed. All around, bright colors slowly appear in the verdant canopy of the summer foliage. Then, in the cool breeze, the leaves begin to rustle and fall, twirling to the ground. You sense the light of the day and the dark of the night to be of equal measure and of equal power. At such times of balance, we can pause and look within ourselves and assess what we have reaped from our journey through the spring and the summer. In the serenity of your mind, imagine the dusk between day and night, with a cool fall fog condensing into a conjuring cloud. Now, let an image form slowly within the mist of a good deed that you performed selflessly, one that you made happen while the pandemic overtook our world. Now, only you know your thoughts. No one else will know. So think of that good action. Think of one, whether on behalf of flora, fauna, or folk. Keep thinking of that action and let your mind flow towards the benefits that grew out of your caring. Reflect for a few moments more on your harvest. Feel the warm fulfillment in your heart of creating magic for someone else. And to crystallize your experience, silently give a name to the value that you upheld. Repeat the name of that value to yourself. Now slowly open your eyes And please say with me these magic words. I have sown, I have tended. Behold the symbol of our faith.
And please say with me these magic words. I have grown, I have gathered. May the personal acknowledgement of your harvest reinforce your focus on what is important and strengthen your control. Build your devotion with earth-centered values, holding on to the memory of our connections here that we are circling at this moment all around Earth. I release the energy of everyone here in our Mabon circle to the world, the magical world that we are so blessed to be part of. So mote it be. Let us now thank the Lady and the Lord for being present in our Mabon rite. Thank you, Lady of all, child, mother, lover, and grandmother of us. We have felt your presence here today. And we remain in the knowledge that you are with us whenever we go. Thank you, and blessed be.
Thank you, Horned One, God of the forest and fawn, leaper in the corn, for being in our ritual of Mabon today. All that is wild, wild and untamed, stay with us and ride again. Go if you must, stay if you will. Hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
And now we will release the quarters. And again, sing along with the refrain.
Guardians and elementals of the northern watchtower. We thank you for your protection and elemental power. Great ones of the north, return now from whence you came. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.
Blessed be.
We thank the West.
Guardians and elementals of the western watchtower.
Blessed be. We thank the West.
We thank you for your wisdom and elemental power. Great ones of the West, return now from whence you came. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.
Blessed be.
Guardians and elementals of the southern watchtower. We thank you for your inspiration and elemental power.
Blessed be. We thank the South.
Great ones of the South, return now from whence you came. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.
Blessed be.
We thank the
Guardians and elementals of the Eastern Watchtower.
Blessed be. We thank thee.
We thank you for your insight and elemental power.
Blessed be. We thank thee.
Great ones of the East, return now from whence you came. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessed be, everyone. Heather, if you'll offer our closing and unmute yourself.
With perfect love and perfect trust, we close our sacred rite, as say we must. The circle is open, but never broken. May the Lord and Lady be forever in our hearts. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.
Merry meet again. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Thank you, Stephen, and members of ASIC, and guest from the other side of the world, Luthia. Wonderful to meet you, Luthia. And now we will extinguish our chalice, and I invite you to, as I extinguish the chalice, to say the words as Stephen displays them on the screen. The chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our gathering in community with a mission for justice and our hearts full of love.